This is the 2026 Buick Encore GX ST, or Sport Touring, and it might surprise you. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We borrowed this Encore GX from my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. The exterior color on this model is Moonstone Gray. It has an ebony with Santorini blue interior, and we're going to find full LED lighting here on the front end. And I like that it looks different. It doesn't look like a Buick the way you have the winged LED headlights, or LED daytime running lights up here, I should say, with your LED turn signals. I mean, we'll have the LED projector beam headlights down here, but you know what? They are LED. That's a good thing. We're going to have a mixture of finishes here on the front end, but I don't think it's too overdone. You're going to obviously have some chrome here, a little bit of gloss black. Down here on the lower portion, we're going to also have some gloss, but it works. Little body color in this area. And then we're going to move up. There's your Tri-Shield Buick logo. And I'm going to take advantage of this darker side of the vehicle a little bit here. 18-inch wheels. Now this particular model is front-wheel drive. 18-inch gloss black wheels, but they are available with all-wheel drive if that's something you want. There is your ST logo. Once again, that means Sport Touring for those who may want to know. And here is your remote. You're going to have lock, unlock, remote start. Now you won't have a power tailgate, so you notice that button's on there. It is a manual tailgate. We're also going to have the panic button right there. Manually folding side view mirrors, but not a big deal. They do fold. They're heated and power adjustable, so nice to know that those things are here. And here on the front doors, we're going to have passive entry. That's what this little button is for right here. So you can lock and unlock all four doors using that button. And it's not only on the front door handles, it's also here on the rear. That is something that I definitely have to check off as needing a thumbs up. If you're going to have it on the front, you might as well have it on the rear too. That should be a standard feature. Roof rails up top, so if you need a little extra cargo space, you can buy some crossbars, go across, and then you can put whatever you need to on top of that. We're going to have our antenna up here, not your shark fin antenna, but a little bit different style. We're going to have the rear roof spoiler right here. And as we finish things off here in the rear, obviously the rear window wiper, LED taillights. There's going to be your Encore GX logo along with the Buick logo and that Tri-Shield logo as well. Gloss black back here, I think that's really a good thing. It looks great back here, a nice finisher, and you're not likely to get as much damage from rock chips and things like that because of its location. Under the hood of this particular model is the 1.3 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. It makes 155 horsepower and 174 pounds-feet of torque. It is mated to a CVT. 0 to 60 is about 9 seconds flat top speed if you're going downhill, and have a tailwind 121 miles per hour. Now, being that that's such a small engine, not making massive horsepower, what are we looking at with our MPGs? Well, you may not be able to see it very well, so I'm going to tell you what they are. 29 city, 31 highway, 30 combined, 3.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Now, you will have capless fuel fill with your 13.2 gallon gas tank. Driving distance on a single tank of gas, full tank of gas, 383 miles in the city, 409 miles out on the highway. Now, something to keep in mind with that, those numbers are not guaranteed. You may actually do better. Same thing with the MPGs off of the window sticker. To open your tailgate, as I mentioned, this is not a power tailgate, but you open it just a little bit more. There we go. It's dampened. It's going to open up on its own. Now, how about your cargo capacity? Well, depending on how you set things up, 23.5 cubic feet. If you put the rear seats down and fold them flat, you're looking at a total of 50.2 cubic feet. Now, one thing that I want to show you right here is the floor. You'll notice that it's actually further down than you might expect. Now, you can bring this back up, and I'm just going to show you how to do this right here. We'll pull this out of here, see if I can get this knocked out and make it easy to see. But you can raise it up if you'd like to, just like this. Kind of challenging to do that. There we go. So we've got it like that, or you can have it down in that lower position. And a big advantage here, you do not have a tire repair kit, you have a spare tire. That's always nice to know. A little bit of cargo area lighting. It's only going to be on the one side right there. It's not LED, but at least you have a little bit back here to illuminate things when it's dark. Let's talk about what your second row passengers are going to find. Now this is going to be the interior that I was telling you about earlier as far as the color combination goes. We're going to have a rear seat pocket on the back of both seats. As you can see right there, we're going to have the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in. And then, while there are no rear air conditioning vents back here for your rear passengers, I don't think that's too big of a deal because it's such a small interior. You do have the USB ports. And in this particular case, no sunroof. So depending on the trim level you go with, you can have a sunroof in here if you want, but that's not here. We'll also find our lighting here. Believe it or not, after dark, that does a really good job of illuminating the interior. How about the sticker price? $31,045. If you come into Mike Morgan Buick GMC and you need that extra $5 to get over the hump, I promise to give it to you. Let's see what else you get for that price. Now I'm going to grab the camera real fast here and show you large armrests here. Well, decent size for this size of SUV. I do wish that this area was not curved up like that, but based on the design of the door itself, well, that's the only way you can have it. There is a decent amount of space here in the door bin. Obviously, that's going to be smaller in the rear than what we have in the front. And you'll have your button right here to lock out all of the windows. You can control your settings for your side view mirrors. And then we're going to have, believe it or not, one touch down windows for the rear. We will have a one touch down and one touch up for the front window, and then the same thing for the other window. But the only window that's one touch down and one touch up is the driver's side. So in case you were wondering about that, there is the answer to that question. Your lock and unlock buttons are right there. You can control everything for your headlights right here, and right here is the release for adjusting your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. The driver's seat is power adjustable with lumbar support. The passenger seat is manually adjustable. And you'll have everything over here for voice commands. You do have a heated steering wheel. If you need to use that, you can. Everything up here for your turn signal indicators right here. This is your button for turning on your auto high beams, and then everything for your front and rear window wipers over here. Now we're going to hand the camera back real fast and go through the center screen. Now it is somewhat minimal. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. You can see Android Auto and Apple CarPlay right there. You've got your Wi-Fi hotspot. And when you go into settings, this will be the most of what you're going to see. If I can get that to come up for me. Here's where you set date, time, language. Go in and check everything for your phones and manage all of that right there, depending on what you need to know. And display, sounds, units, whatever it is, you can do that right there. Now, under vehicle, we have a few more things, such as teen driver. You can set that up. Rear seat reminder. If you want to turn that on and off, you can do it right here, turning that check mark on or off. Or you can actually go in and do that here as well. It's going to give you a description of what it is. We're going to see that with a few different areas as far as that goes. Now, your collision detection systems, I know a lot of people like to know about that. Here's what you have. Automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, lane change alert, and rear cross traffic alert. Now, it is a little bit different here. You're going to see that you can come in and have alert and brake, alert only, or you can turn it off with a couple of these different options. If you have the check mark, let's go into that menu and see. You can either turn that on or off, just in case you wanted to know what the options were where all of that is concerned. Now, as you can see, these are all of the features that we have where that is concerned. You'll also have comfort and convenience, and not a lot going on here. If you want your auto wipe in reverse gear so that your rear window wiper will run when you go into reverse, you can turn that on. And here's something you might not know about. If your chime volume is too loud or too low, here is where you adjust that. And then obviously you have a few more options over here on the left-hand side, depending on what you need to see. You can come in here and deal with that. Here's everything for maintenance. Now, gauges is something that you might want to know a little bit more about. What if you want to know about your coolant temperature? Well, you don't have to leave it right here on this screen. You can actually put it on the driver's display, the instrument cluster, and once I select right there, well, then it shows up right down here, as you can see. I know that's something a lot of people like to have, and they often think, well, it's not there, but believe it or not, it is. You just have to choose for it to be there until you say, you know what, never mind. You can remove that from the cluster. And you can do that with everything that is here as far as all of this goes. You only have a couple of things going on where that's concerned. You can go in just like that and make those changes. And then you can come in here for your phone. You can come in here for what you're listening to, depending on what you want to do right there. You can come in and choose that. Somewhat of a minimal display here, but I think that's a good thing for a lot of people. It's a total of 19 inches. It's going to be 11 inches over here on the center screen and 9 inches over here on the driver's display. That makes up that 11 inches. And you also have the knob right here for the radio. You can turn that on and off and adjust the volume. As far as air conditioning goes, we have single zone climate control. All of your different controls are right there. As you can see, you know what it is. A 12-volt power outlet. That's a good thing I know a lot of you are looking for. We're also going to have our USB ports. Now, there's no wireless charging pad in this case, but again, depending on trim level, you may or may not have that. Now, here's your shifter. And if you're wondering, there's drive. That L is low. That keeps the transmission in low gear. You still have all of your horsepower and torque, even in first gear. And I'm going to leave that right there because it's a little bit easier for me to see. Here's the button to turn the auto stop start on and off, lane keeping assist, and traction control. In case you want to attempt a front wheel drive burnout, you might want to turn the traction control off before you do that. Otherwise, it will be even less impressive than it would be anyway. There's your cup holders. Don't play the piano on your piano black finish, but thankfully there's not too much of that there. I think that works out. Power parking brake is going to be right here. If you're looking for that, that's in a good convenient place. We're going to have a little bit of space right here, depending on what you want to put right there. The center console lid is pretty narrow, but it can be used as an armrest. And let's see what we have on the inside. Now, it might look really small, but guess what? There's a little bit more space there than what it looked like. This is a small interior, so I'm going to make sure my arm isn't in the shot. And a couple more things here. There is that Santorini blue that I was telling you about earlier. And up here on the headrest is the ST logo, Sport Touring logo. In my opinion, that shouldn't just be on the headrest in the front. It should also be on the rear. Take note of that, Buick. All right, here we go. Onto the test track. We're going to put this Encore GX through its paces. I'm kidding. We're really not. There wouldn't be much to that anyway. But for those that are looking for a vehicle that gets some decent gas mileage, it's gonna get the job done. Not everybody wants to have a super fast vehicle. That's gonna work for some people. For some people it may not. That's okay. It's good to know what's out here because we're giving you that information. But for those of you that say, you know what, Tom, I'm not one of these people that's trying to get from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. I don't need a ton of horsepower. I just want a good vehicle that's reliable. If you drive these things correctly and don't treat it like it's a hot rod, well, then it will last you a long time. They actually do well. I know a lot of people might be surprised to hear that, even with that 3-cylinder engine under the hood, but it's just like anything else. If you take care of it, it's going to last for quite a while, and you should be in good shape. It rides well for being such a small vehicle. It may not have the absolute best handling characteristics, but that's part of what happens with a lot of vehicles out there that may have a smoother ride compared to a more rigid ride because, well, the suspension is not tuned for performance or for great handling. And something else that's good here is that you have a nice tight turning radius. That should come as no surprise. And being that it has available all-wheel drive, if you need that, well, it's going to work out well for you. Have a little bit of ground clearance. And so for those of you that live in those environments where you have a lot of snow and ice, well, guess what? It will take care of you. You should be in good shape where that is concerned. And the technology, while you have some nice modern technology, as we showed you earlier in the video, it's still fairly minimal. It's not an overload. You don't have a ton of sub-menus to go through. Things are not difficult to find with the screen. But one thing I will say for sure here is that the Buick of today is definitely not what it was several years ago when you thought more of your grandparents when you thought of a Buick. It really has changed. It'll be interesting to see what comes in the future. There is a nice amount of space here in the front seat area, a decent amount in the back. At 5'10", I had a couple of inches above my head. If you're 6 feet tall or above, you might want to call shotgun or grab the remote and sit here in the driver's seat, which with the adjustability built into the driver's seat and the steering wheel, I feel like basically anybody of any height, whether you're really tall or not so really tall, well, you can adjust things where you will be nice and comfortable and not have any trouble making those long road trips or just driving around town. And there it is, the 2026 Buick Encore GX ST. might surprise you at what it has for the price. I realize that's still a pretty high price in this day and age, but considering the fact that the average new vehicle right now costs $50,000, you're still well below that here if this as a subcompact crossover works for you. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this Encore GX for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.